Okay, we're live.
Hello.
Hello, Nisha.
Hi, hi.
How are you?
Hot.
So I'm having a crazy day and a crazy week. Um, my gardeners actually leave for Canada tonight.
Woohoo! Congratulations,
Yeah.
gardeners.
So it's been a little bit hectic because we had to get them to KL with all their luggage.
Right, right, right.
So it's handled by IOM, International Overseas Migration. It's part of the
UN.
UN. Yeah. And they do a lot of work, but they don't do some work. You know, the work about getting them to KL
Yeah.
or an 8 o'clock appointment, medical.
If you think about it, it is quite messy because each individual is allowed to carry everything they want to carry.
Well, this is it. I mean, I panicked for them because I didn't really understand whether they were allowed to bring so much luggage. I
Yeah.
said, usually we're only allowed to bring 22 kilos,
And that's
and
the
he's saying that
being
they were each taking 22 kilos. So there are five adults. So those are like 14 bags. So that in itself was a problem. Like how do we get it to
what
KL?
IOS want to deal with it because
Yeah,
each family
yeah,
group will have a different configuration of how much they're going to
yeah.
carry. So then they kind of, you have to go figure it out and just get to that meeting point. Yeah.
But before they go, they actually have to go for medical checkup the day before at 8 o'clock. So we had to arrange for that, all that. And then the other issue was we couldn't figure out how to get them there. The sort of commercial ones. When I inquired, first of all, they were a little expensive. Plus, if you're not a Malaysian citizen, there is a law that says you have to have a tour guide. Did you know that? Which is
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
another 300 ringgit. So it's like, so in the end, thankfully, Akata knew somebody, and
Right.
he arranged two vans to take one,
That's,
two.
I guess, in a way, it's a form of recognition that you are moving your whole life in two
Yeah,
vans
yeah,
to another
yeah,
country.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, just to get back to that, I really wasn't sure. I was like calling around, and I called Soraya, who heads up the Rohingya. She has something called Chaya something, and she's actually the authorized UNHCR refugee
Okay.
sort of outlet here.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked her, have you ever worked with IOM before? She said, yeah, 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 whatever. And I said, are they really allowed to take all this? She said, yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I guess it's an acknowledgement that they are. Actually migrating.
Yeah.
So, and then I discover from Osman, one of the gardeners, that in fact, today they will actually just take all their luggage in the morning
Mm.
and deal with it. They don't even have to check in and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if they got a chartered flight or what. I don't know.
Maybe.
But, but anyway, it's all over. They came at 3 o'clock in the morning. They arrived in time, 7 o'clock for their medical, and it's all ready.
Nice.
And this morning, Alam, the guy who is now the substitute, who's now living in Osman's house and is my
Okay.
new worker, he brought me something to eat. I guess that's what they had last night.
Right.
Their farewell dinner,
Yeah.
and he showed me a photo of a pigeon.
Okay. Like
So I've
freedom.
got I've got pigeon curry for dinner tonight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Pigeon curry. Yeah, I remember Laiman's mom used to tell me they had pigeons in their shop house at the side of the wall. Like, cause they're just like post boxes. And she
yeah,
killed them by like strangling them and dangling them.
and ate
I can't
them,
get that out of my head.
and ate them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So like
I mean, as a kid, one of my dad's friends was a hunter, and we used to eat wood pigeon,
okay.
but I've never eaten like a city pigeon.
Oh no, I don't
I
think
hope
it's
I
pigeon.
hope that's not what this is. I don't even want
Red,
to know.
pigeon is red for meat. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna think about it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna.
So it's just like, rice and whatever that they put aside. But yeah, it's very interesting. Posh, very
Okay.
pigeon.
Um. So today we are going to talk. We are going to respond actually to a request I had
Mm-hmm.
from Dawn. One of the parents that had their kid, and
Yep.
and she also came to our edible education
Yep.
event, and she asked if we could talk about natural fibers in clothes.
Mm.
And so let me read a little bit of what she's asking. So
Mm.
recently, my family has taken an interest in this for health reasons. We're slowly ditching our dry fit and breathe in them and breathable, I guess, for cotton and linen. But this topic is not new for us, so we're slowly learning about how microplastics get into our bodies and brain, etc. Does price point determine if a fabric is 100% cotton? Okay, I think okay. So yeah, I think the way I would approach it actually is, uh, I think maybe the other way around because the industry deals with this in a certain kind of way. I mean, the industry knows about sustainable stuff, but does it do it? Not necessarily.
It pushes what's cost effective and profitable.
Yeah, it pushes what sells, and one of the reasons we are really push some of these ideas like uh, dry fit, and cool, whatever, is actually because it's cheaper. The fibers are cheaper, you
Yeah.
know. And so to kick off with that, I mean, really, I mean, the whole thing actually, we can just put up a general rule. If you want to be more sustainable, it's natural fibers. It's all natural fibers. Then avoid unnatural fibers, polyester-based fibers,
Yeah.
because polyester fibers actually contaminate the environment from the moment they are spun.
Yeah.
When they're spun,
Mm.
microplastics, because they are plastics, so their microplastics are releasing as they become yarn, as they become knitted or woven, more microplastics, and
Yeah.
as they're being worn and washed,
Mm.
even more microplastics are entering our system. And this is something we're actually only really learning the last 5 to 10 years, that it is a huge problem. It's actually entering our bloodstream.
Mm.
It's skipping our blood-brain barrier. It's actually a big deal. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So the general rule is actually just to avoid unnatural fibers, and just to talk about how they promote unnatural fibers. A lot of them are actually not really true. For example, the idea of this pooling wicking thing that
Mm.
it's sort of a technical
Mm.
performance clothes. It actually doesn't really work very well in the tropics because that principle requires a dry climate for the moisture to evaporate, and we
Yeah.
don't have that. So all you're doing is actually just letting that stuff sit on your body.
Yeah. It's like, how people say, take a pot and then
Yeah.
fill it with ice or sand and then put it in another pot and that becomes a fridge. Too humid, too humid. You're
Yeah.
better off with a
So
hole in the ground.
yeah. In fact, actually, I find polyesters hot
Mm.
to wear.
Yeah.
I will
Like
sweat more in
the
them.
the heat in, yeah. It keeps
Yeah. So it's not wicking away sweat. It's actually
yeah.
making me sweat more.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I thoroughly avoid them
Mm.
and only go with natural fibers. And the best natural fiber is linen.
Right.
It's the coolest actually to wear. It's
Yes.
actually
My bane with linen is that when it's thick, it becomes too hot to wear
yeah.
and it feels very formal and it crumples and it's like, but the thinner the linen, the easier to wear it is, but it's the hardest to find. That's my experience.
Okay, so you shouldn't wear thick linen. So thick
Yeah.
linen usually is cheap. The
Yeah.
cheaper the fiber, the
Hard to
thicker it
find.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so that's one problem with linen is actually the scarcity of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It requires to be grown in very wet environments,
Yep.
and then it's sort of I think the technical term is retted. It's like left to kind of ret in water.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like
Um,
reed. It's more like a reed than
yeah,
like a field of yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the finest linens come from
Mm,
Ireland. It's really expensive.
mm,
Uh, and then to process it, to spin it beautifully and weave it really nicely, maybe coming out of Italy, also very expensive.
mm.
The minute you start getting linen out of India, it's really hairy and thicker and
Yeah.
cheap.
Yeah.
And the same with China. So even though the fabric may end up being a bit cheaper, you're not getting the same
Quality. Yeah.
quality. Yeah, you're not getting the same experience actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know. So really, the only way to navigate this is you just got to ultimately find the right supplier. So I find
Mm.
there's only one in Malaysia that I would recommend, and that's Uniqlo.
Right.
So
Unique
Uniqlo,
uncle.
I'm a Uniqlo uncle. Peace. Yeah, and I'm also, I'm like I'm really always trying to score because, the other great thing, and I think this is also part of the conversation. This is about sustainability. This is
Yeah.
just about natural, what's good for you personally, or
Yeah.
what's good for the environment, what's good for the planet, all that kind of stuff. Uh, so there's also about business practices. So Uniqlo also does something quite interesting. It doesn't, it tends to do less of this fashion role where it's bringing it out as a fashion thing, and then at the end of the season, it's trashing it. It's actually selling it really cheap or throwing it away. Okay, what it does is actually puts it back into it. It creates classics and it puts it back into their stock room, and they wait till the following season to sell it again. They might sell it down a little bit to take a little bit of the edge off the stock,
Right.
but they do keep some of it and bring it back out. So maybe like all the base colors, like, the white, the navy,
Mm,
all the things that people want, they will probably put back in their storeroom. Maybe the fashion colors they will sell at
mm.
the end of the season, and the price will go down. And that's when Uniqlo uncle buys his linen shirts.
Good to know.
It might come down from 139 ringgit to 59.95 ringgit.
You know what I'm
And
waiting
I'll,
for Uniqlo to put back in the circulation? They released like a range of cotton sleeping pants. Oh my god, they're
yeah,
so
I mean,
cute.
their quality is good. Yeah.
Yeah. But the new ones are not as good as that first batch that came out. Like I don't know, maybe it's the color change.
That changes too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But before
Yeah.
we go to cotton, let me finish my linen. So another resource for Uniqlo linen
Mm,
I found was buying it at Chatuchak Market in Bangkok
right.
because they have a factory in Bangkok, and
Right.
all the seconds go into Chatuchak Market. So it
Okay.
gets even cheaper. It's like 20 something ringgit.
Right.
So
Yeah, I remember
that's how,
Lyman bought some linen shirts that were he bought some linen shirts that were tie-dyed. Quite nice, but
awesome.
I don't know. He's hardly worn them because he likes them so much. I'm like, if you like it, wear it, you know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, and then I buy shirts. I buy woven shirts. I want to make a sort of you can weave linen or you can knit linen as a fine knit, and you can knit linen as a sweater.
Mm,
Uh, so it's actually best as a shirting. And like I said, Uniqlo, back to your point, it's got to be a thin quality. It is actually what they call a shirting quality. These are standards. Everything is spun to standards. So there's a standard yarn size because that yarn fits into a standard weaving machine.
yeah.
Every country has different weaving machines that fit for different specific yarn sizes. So there is a standard yarn size that is like a shirting linen,
Okay.
and the So and then you have to deal with the fact that it crumples
Yes.
and that it's one of my introductions to linen was actually when I was a buyer and I was traveling to Italy quite a lot. And at one hotel I stayed at, the Grand Hotel in Florence, it's like super, super high end hotel. The sheets were linen. Yes. And they had to change the sheets every day, or they had to iron the sheets every day. I can't remember. So there's something. Because in the mornings they'd just be like a complete mess. But when I came back after work, it would all be like crisp. I don't know if they change them every day or what.
Probably they do. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
And there is sort of an acceptability of wearing wrinkle linen like I'm wearing today. It's I was lot. There have been Asians have said to me, "Wow, you never iron your shirts. I thought you were a designer." Because it's a cultural thing also. You know,
Yeah.
so some people think crumpled linen looks cool and elegant and expensive, and some people think you're not dressed properly. So you have to navigate that also a little
Guess
bit.
that's a place thing. That's a culture contextual culture thing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you're in Europe and you have a crumpled linen shirt on, people probably think you're rich. You know.
And
Whereas
I
here they're like asking me, why am I wearing
weird person
why am
you
I like, like whatever. So, okay, and then so I tend to use woven shirts. Uh, I have bought knitted because you can make a t-shirt with it,
right.
but I find that it has this weird drape
Okay.
and it starts to look a little bit see-through and a bit kind of girly looking for me, so
No,
I don't buy them
you
anymore.
see it as dress like t-shirt ish kind of thing as a Punjabi suit. Those kind of like
Yeah,
semi formal formal like women's wear. Yeah.
yeah.
I've not seen a guy wear it's like a round neck cut thing.
I bought it and they're quite nice,
Mm.
but because of the way they hang and fit,
Yeah.
they never come out of the factory accurate to size.
Mm.
So you'll never get like a really good fitting one. So
Mm.
it's a bit hit or miss. You got to you got to try it. You got to check whether it's
And then
okay.
when you wash it also like readjust a little bit.
It does change a little bit,
Yeah.
but it will also pull back out again. Linen
Mm.
doesn't shrink.
No, yeah.
It just
It,
moves with the washing and
yeah.
then it moves back out. Yeah.
Correct.
What it does do is it makes beautiful sweaters, which we don't really need here
Right.
because it makes a beautiful, crisp, cool sweater that is fantastic in the summertime. So I
Right.
actually have a couple and I do like a cardigan to wear over like a regular t-shirt and I keep them for when I go to Singapore and I'm sitting in the freezing cold subways. It's like the perfect thing to wear.
Right.
But yeah, so otherwise it's the shirt. So I would say the top recommendation is if you can figure out a great resource for linen shirts, and like I said, there is one in Uniqlo.
Yep.
And, then it's definitely that it's sort of top of the line for sustainable. Uh,
Right. Right.
they also last quite long, but not that long. My linen shirts actually start to become threadbare a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know if it's because we are subject to more kind of insect type things here. They bite down the hole and then it sort of
Yeah. Rips out.
starts to be a problem. I never had this problem with my linen stuff in Europe, so or the US. So I don't know if that's a very local thing,
Yeah.
but I do. But when they're cheap, I buy six of them,
Mm.
and I'm sort of set up for a couple of years. For a few years actually, and they wash and wear really well.
Yeah.
And so that's top of the line. Okay. Then cotton is of then the next best thing. Oh yeah, before I finish, linen actually by its nature is actually just naturally more sustainable. It just doesn't need that much pesticide and stuff like that. It's quite a tough kind of plant.
Yeah.
There's actually another plant which is native to Malaysia called rami,
Okay.
which is linen-like. Uh, so America uses a lot of rami. They use something called rami cotton. They mix those two together. I never see it here.
Really?
Uh, yeah, yeah, and they do it because it has something to do with actually the international tariff
Oh,
situation, because cotton is protected in the U.S. So if they weave a sweater or a shirt as Rami cotton, because Rami is cheaper than linen, and if they weave it 51% Rami and 49% cotton, it is actually categorized as cheap value Rami.
okay.
It goes in a different tax bracket, so it's not heavily taxed.
Okay.
But cotton
But that's
is
industrial.
well, I mean, it only affects America, but the trouble is we also get a lot of American products.
Yeah.
So we may find a remake. I'm only saying this because we have a lot of actual, what would you describe them, like discounted stores? Like,
Yeah.
uh, what are they called now?
Reject.
What,
Um. Good shop. Yeah. There's a few. There's a few.
and they're always in the malls, right?
Yeah.
So
I think
they might buy,
don't think you find them
so
out.
they might be buying leftover stock from all over the world. So
Mm.
it's only worth knowing because of that. If it's coming from the US, you might see some Remy cotton
Yeah.
in a really great price. And it's
Yeah.
uh Remy coming out of Italy is incredible because it's actually a bit harder than linen. So
Right.
they actually are much better at spinning and weaving it. That makes a really crisp suit.
Oh.
So Remy suits are really beautiful out of Italy, you know. But they're not. Rami's not very nice out of China. It's not spun as nice. It's okay. So that's linen, Rami, and then there's obviously linen cotton and Rami cotton. And then linen, you said churning weights, but then there's also like upholstery weights and sheeting weights. And
Mm.
sometimes people make clothes with all those different weights. Like I know a designer friend, she's making dresses with actually what is actually a furnishing weight, maybe,
Oh.
which is, yeah, thicker. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. So then we get to cotton, and cotton is incredibly difficult to navigate because, uh, oh yeah, the last thing about linen is, it's easier to farm, and then more of the plant is actually used in the spinning of the fiber and the thing. Whereas cotton, it's only that
The
little
buds. Yeah.
fluff,
Yeah.
and then it's heavily pesticide,
Yeah.
stuff like that. However, organic cotton is really, really hard to buy.
True.
Okay, so there are a couple of pathways. One is if you are buying organic cotton T-shirts because they are actually made to a different kind of scale.
Hmm.
So they'll make it in an incredibly large scale, and then they'll sell it off in like to T-shirt printers and stuff like that. And you can buy a printed organic T-shirt at a fairly good price.
Mm.
But to buy an organic woven cotton shirt is going to be really difficult. Or organic cotton pants or a woven shirt is going to be a lot more difficult. It's possible, but you're probably having to go to the designer end of things, you
Mm.
know. Um, so organic cotton is actually just really, really hard to source. So maybe you might want to go towards sustainable cotton,
Yeah.
and then you're starting to really like what is sustainable? It's like what does that really, really mean? So you got to really check to see what does that mean according to that manufacturer. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
is it reduced pesticide? Is it ethically done? So Uniqlo has a problem with their cotton because they had a huge controversy because they were using China cotton that was being uh coming out of the I don't know how to pronounce is it the Uyghur community?
Why? Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know the Muslim Chinese community?
Yeah. I
Are they
can see
call
getting. Okay, it's
they
okay.
call
Yeah,
they call Uyghurs, right?
yeah,
Uighyur. And they're actually like Turkish.
yeah.
They have some relationship with Turkey. Yeah. And there was some issue because there is some ethical issue with how China treats the Uyghurs.
Yeah.
So uh, Uniqlo ran into trouble because they were using cotton coming out of that region.
Right.
Yeah. So this is something I just can't navigate well with organic cotton. So I just buy conventional cotton and then I'll make the case that, you know, conventional pesticide cotton is better than microplastic polyester. You
Correct.
know,
Correct. I think you need to look at it from the bigger picture at that
yeah.
scale. Like
I think the word I would use is the algorithm. Sustainability is an algorithm. There's many things feeding into it.
yeah.
You kind of have to figure out how to navigate this
I mean, at
algorithm.
one point, I was quite adamant to buy silk. Pardon? New booking. Ah, hang on, yeah. And no, because I don't have the Jawanda. You can give any room lah. Just give in front. Don't give at the back. Give in front. Maybe B1, B2 can. Ah, thanks. Sorry, somebody just booked on Agoda and walked in. Yeah, I feel like there was a point where I think it was like 2016. Lyman and I both decided that we'd stop wearing synthetic stuff, and so he started looking at. There's another fabric. I can't remember what it was, but I remember he had a conversation with you about it, and I think it was like a linen. It's not
Oh,
remi.
like a rayon? Rayon? Was it
No,
a rayon?
is it start with an S? So anyway, so he started
Yeah.
looking at fibers and stuff. And I, lazy as I am, decided to go secondhand. And then what I found that I really liked at the time was silk coming out of Japan. So Japan women's secondhand silk shirts were really nice. The blouses were
Yeah.
really nice. The skirts were really nice. So every time I had to buy like an office outfit, I would go look at like at that time there was a few things. I don't think there was Jalan Japan yet at the time. But yeah, I would look for the Japanese secondhand stores that had skirts. So the silk skirts were really nice. Yeah. And that just looked
Okay,
very
I want to split that into two things because the secondhand element is
yeah.
actually another thing.
Yeah. No, no, but
And
silk.
then
I'm trying to talk about
and
silk.
silk is one thing. Okay,
Yeah.
I can't wear silk. I find silk too hot.
Ah.
Maybe it's okay for a skirt. I don't know, but for like a shirt, it's hot.
Yeah. You
It's too
usually buy silk skirts,
drapey.
yeah.
Yeah, it just really doesn't work for me. But I see women wear silk more, because it's blousy or skirts. Something loose maybe is kind of okay. Uh, but silk has its own issues.
Hmm.
Silk is not vegan. Because you have to kill the silkworm.
Yeah,
You have to
silk.
kill the silkworm to get the silk.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So.
Well, I guess you pick what you want to do with what you want to do. It's
Yeah, I
important
think you
to
you
have like a
there's a lot of information.
yeah.
If you really really want to know about it, you kind of have to dig into it a little bit. So silk is there are issues with silk in that a vegan wouldn't wear it though because the silkworm has to get killed to get the silk. Uh, Maybe they wouldn't wear an inorganic cotton because they will kill pests to make sure you get the cotton.
Yep.
Uh, so, and then, like I said, silk is actually a little may not be that suited for the tropics, because you know
Mm.
why? Because it's actually so fine a fiber that
Mm.
when you weave it, it becomes very dense. And
Okay.
it's that density that traps heat, your body heat, and doesn't let it. Whereas
Ah, but
a
because it's office
slightly,
wear. Yeah, because it's office wear, it works because Malaysian offices are very cold.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's suitable for that climate. So I
okay,
don't have to like layer, you see? Yeah.
yeah.
So kind of work.
Um, yeah, okay, so here's some rules about cotton. I
Mm.
mean, if it was like a cotton batik shirt, I would say there's value to that because that cotton is probably being bought fairly close by, like probably Indian cotton or
Right.
China cotton. It's not coming
Mm.
from a very long, part of the world.
Yeah.
It's
The
being
logistics.
processed in this part of the world. It's utilizing local, resources. So you're keeping it more sustainable.
Yeah.
What you don't want is actually a cotton coming out of somewhere very distant, China, US, that kind of thing. Or very throwaway, something that's being churned out every 6 months because of a fashion thing. Uh, so a little harder to navigate. And but if you find something you like
Mm.
and and o- it's a natural fiber, it's worth getting it because if it's especially if it's nice and you like it and it's good quality, it's just gonna last longer as well.
Exactly. I was gonna get there because I feel
Yeah.
like some of like I'm very lazy at buying clothes. And even me buying clothes is I kind of have an idea in my head, okay, I need a t-shirt. I kind of know what colors I want. I'm not really shopping for it. I'm just going, I'm touching it, I'm putting it on if it fits, and I'm buying it and I'm out of the store. It's like
Yeah.
very big. But,
Yeah.
and I only do that because I need to replace pieces that have already worn out. I don't buy unless my clothes have started to, holes start to appear, it doesn't patch very well, or is this not suitable for the whatever I need to use it for. So I typically, in terms of as a consumer, I don't buy a lot and I don't even buy every year sometimes. So it's more like I'm buying to replace something and I'm buying for durability. So like what you were saying before, you buy something you like because the design's unique or the colors are nice, and then I literally wear them to death. And sometimes they get downcycled into my cat stuff. So my cats love to sleep on my clothes. So they get the piece of clothing. So
Yeah.
they're downcyclers, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't. So I guess it's comfortable for them as animals are intuitive about all these things. They kind of they never sit on a synthetic outfit. They always
That's
sit on
true.
the cotton.
Yeah, yeah, they're so good at navigating this. Yeah, yeah.
So instinctual.
So let's go back to your secondhand thing because that's
Yeah.
another great resource for sustainable
Yep.
behavior,
Yep.
and that is actually something that's increasing.
Mm.
I remember when I first came, there was a bit of shame around it. I remember, the idea of secondhand clothes was
Why
considered
you
like
don't wear old clothes? Somebody else.
only poor people do it. Whereas in progressive countries, only cool people do it. We've been doing it for
But I guess you also
decades.
grew up with hand me downs.
Yeah,
So the
yeah,
stigma of wearing something that you didn't quite like, but fit
yeah,
you at this time means you have to
yeah,
wear. So I guess
yeah,
that disconnect, you know,
yeah,
the personal expression is not
yeah.
possible because of that disconnect.
And it's interesting how sort of capitalism interacts with this. So when I first came back, I remember going to like the night markets and there was these young Malay guys selling secondhand t-shirts.
Mm.
And I sort of asked about it and they said that they were buying them in something called bundles.
Right, right, right.
So it's actually not that sustainable because it's not coming from here.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're buying a secondhand t-shirt in the States, which I was always buying secondhand clothes in the States because the States is generating so much secondhand stuff. It's coming out of all the
my
all the
wardrobe
smaller, all
when
the
I was a student.
Iowa and all those states
Yeah,
ending up in New York.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I looked at these t-shirts and I looked at them and some of them were like, uh, as a ex t-shirt designer, I was looking at things that I knew could sell for hundreds of US dollars
Right.
secondhand because they were actually like very desirable 60s surf t-shirts or gothic band t-shirts. And the
Nice.
seller wasn't really aware of this. They
Right.
were all 30 ringgit, and I thought, hey, should I just do this? Should I just be buying this and reselling it? I was like, no, I
Yeah.
can't be bothered. It's not really
No, but on my wardrobe, when I was a student, the first 2 years I was there, were all from Salvation Army. They were all
same,
like £1,
same. I
£2.
am 100%
Nice
secondhand clothes.
Ralph Lauren
Yeah,
sweaters. Yeah.
yeah. Also, I mean, like in the UK and the US, when there's also a lot of secondhand tailored clothing, woolen tailored clothing, which
Okay.
you need for cold weather,
Yeah.
it's so much cheaper to buy it secondhand. I
Yeah.
would have beautiful, and also, my eye was able to pick out, in a rack, like,
Yeah. Nice. Nice.
just
Nice.
a really beautiful color,
Right.
or I could tell I could smell that quality from, 6 feet away. And I would have really, really nice stuff. So here, interesting enough, first it was just a bit of a mishmash, but now it's very different. So
Mm,
now there's things like Jalan Jalan Japan. So they're like chains, and they're very good because they're coming out of Japan.
mm.
Japan treats secondhand clothes very differently from
Yes.
anywhere else in the world.
Yep.
They are throwing away very good quality stuff,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And so they're almost new, you
Yep.
know.
Yep.
And even
Yeah, because
Jalan
they don't
Jalan
wear out
Japan,
the clothes. They wear it for the season and then they let it go. And because their houses are really small, so they can't store anything for very long. So once they go through that season and they've worn it as many times as they want, they just let it go. And I think it's also in the knowledge that it's going to go to somebody else who's going to use it again, So it's not,
yeah,
they become part of the chain and not like
yeah.
the only, user of that product. So then they
And
let
not
go.
just clothes. Actually, I had a friend that's lived many years in Japan, an American guy, and he said that he used to go to the rich neighborhoods on the throughout days, which like
Mm,
be a Tuesday.
mm.
There would be almost brand new TVs and
Yeah.
stereo systems
I
and
did that in Melbourne.
machines. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
You get some really
yeah,
good.
yeah. So secondhand clothes actually is a very good way to go. So just let me finish on Jalan Jalan Japan. So it's now sort of commercialized. I mean, there's
Mm,
so the thing to know about secondhand clothes is it's constantly changing. So you you go in there. I've had people have said, "Oh, I've heard about this," and I they want to know where to go, and I send them, and they'll be like, "Oh, there's nothing there. There's nothing there that day.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because it's
You got to
always
go
repetitive.
you got to go every week,
Yeah,
you know."
yeah. It made
And
it
then
your
you like,
hobby.
and you yeah, that's the only way to do it. That's
Yeah.
what you're doing. So it's part of my shopping habit. Every week
Mm,
I go to the Tampoi fresh market, and I just stop in the Jalan Japan just in case.
just in case.
Yeah. Quite often I don't see
Yeah,
anything, but sometimes.
yeah.
Then Jalan Jalan Japan is also getting smarter. Their staff is getting smarter. So now they're actually racks for designers.
Right, 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 right.
It's
Brand.
not it's not just a mass of secondhand clothes, men and women. It's Uniqlo, Ralph Lauren, and
Yeah.
they're priced accordingly. They're
Mm,
starting to really kind of understand this thing. And it's also the same thing with the that I said that the young Malay guys who are sort of selling it at night markets.
mm.
They're also getting really smart at this. They can now recognize a very desirable 80s surf t-shirt,
Yeah,
and it's 150 ringgit as opposed to 40 ringgit.
yeah,
They also sell it they have Instagram accounts.
yeah,
They have specialty markets.
yeah.
Like at Pasar Seni, I saw there was a really great market there. I went one day, they bought some fantastic stuff, some Carhartt pants and some
Mm.
really, really nice t-shirts. So, yeah, so how you have to navigate this. I mean, you gotta kind of have to know a thing or two.
Yeah, I think the other thing is that the reason why I decided to move away from synthetics was at the time I was just looking at, oh my god, just recycling and waste and plastic pollution, and that was really the reason why we moved away from the synthetics. I still use a little bit of lycra here and there, like tights and those kind of things, because nothing else forms that way.
Sure, sure.
But
Yeah,
and I also have a lot of, I guess, synthetic outdoor gear pen, because that's the only thing that it's literally it's a plastic. It dries very
yeah,
fast, and it's yeah. But the rest of it, like all my t-shirts are all cotton. So I feel like it depends really what you're using it for. It depends really how you're using it as well. Like I think there is a place for everything, but I guess it's in uh, the proportion that you use it. But I still feel in a lot of things, the linens, the cottons,
yeah,
still feel very nice. To
yeah,
touch. Even if it's a tablecloth, like you want to touch
yeah.
it. It
Sure.
creates this sense
Well,
of warmth that I
yeah, and
feel
also
that's the thing.
from a design
Mm.
perspective as well. This is something I can't just talk about. This is something that maybe I would need to have in a class, and that you feel it because
Mm.
there are so many qualities of the cotton. There's lawn cotton, there's poplin,
Yes.
there's high twist. All these things all have different price points. They have all
Yep.
different end uses. They have all
Yep.
kinds of different availabilities. They
Mm.
have different preferences by printers. For example, like there's a very famous company called Liberties in the UK, and
Mm.
they print florals, and they only print on one specific kind of lawn cotton called Tanner lawn cotton. It's just the perfect weight for summer.
Okay.
It's thin, but it has a slight gloss to it because it's such a good quality cotton. I would have to show it to you,
Yeah. 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 To
you
appreciate.
know, to
Yeah.
appreciate it. Yeah. Otherwise, you can't really navigate that. So I think really
End
the
of the
only
day,
thing you can navigate,
it's what's available here right now. Because I don't
yeah,
think you can demand for a particular kind of fabric to be turned into a particular kind of clothes. Like I remember H&M at one point had a organic t-shirt range, and I think a lot of people went for it because they thought it was more sustainable and stuff like that. So it happens lah, and then you see them, you see the product, and you kind of like, okay, not a bad substitute, but then does it last very long enough? So I feel like sometimes just that how to say, just buying something, and again, it's a fashion thing, right? When you look at, like, say, Decathlon cotton t-shirts that I use for hiking, I feel like, okay lah, for a t-shirt that's cut quite nicely, it lasts long, and sometimes the colors are nice, sometimes the prints are okay. So then you just buy that one or two pieces, and that does it, because it is better than buying that instead of a, how there was like a craze about, oh, I'm buying a t-shirt that's made of PET bottles. Like I can't do that. Yeah, I cannot brain
right.
a PET bottle. I don't know. I just think that whole idea is rosa.
I mean that kind of works for its end use. I mean, if it's a technical fabric, you need to actually because it's all polyesters, all microplastics are finer.
Yeah,
So they're denser fabrics, so they can be really thin and actually very closely woven. So they can repel rain. They can
yeah,
break. So they're warmer. They actually protect you more from moisture and stuff like that. So, if that's what you need, then
yeah.
I would buy that. You
And
need to
that's why
buy
and
that.
that's why outdoor
Yeah,
hiking can work
yeah, yeah, yeah.
for
You
that
got to
job.
buy it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So then maybe the choice maybe to use the PAT and not the standard polyester.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah. So the general rule is, just which is what you said. We
mm.
decided to actually, Layla, Layla, what are you doing? Okay, sorry. Uh, you just make this decision. We've just got to stop wearing synthetic because that is a
Yeah.
huge problem now. The whole microplastics issue is there's just a lot of new information being generated in the last 5 years, actually,
Mm,
that actually tell you, holy shit, this is a big problem. It's going to our brains, it's going to our blood, it's going into our infants, it's in our food,
mm,
you know. So the less we all wear, it's not just about us. It's not just about it affecting us. It's
mm.
about how our choices affect everybody else, you
Yep.
know.
Yep.
And people are blissfully wearing polyester because it's cheap,
Yeah.
you know. When
Also,
you talk about office wear, the standard baju kurung, the standard blouse, the
they're
standard
no
cheap
longer, but
fashion
they're
blouse
no longer
is
fabric.
all polyester,
Yeah.
you know. So it's very problematic. You know what is also not great is actually blended, which now they also do. They blend cotton with polyester, so it feels a bit cottony, but it's made cheaper because of the polyester, maybe a bit lighter by the polyester.
Mm.
But you know what? That matters if you actually are thinking that you're gonna compost your shirt at some point.
Yeah.
Because when it's blended, it doesn't compost.
Yeah.
It's actually harder for it to break down. Yeah.
Right.
So that's an issue. Uh, then there's also like things like have become faddish, like bamboo fiber, which is
Mm.
a natural fiber, but actually
It's
it
fake.
makes something called rayon.
Uh-huh.
The generic term is rayon,
Right.
but how the bamboo is grown is generally it's now not very good.
Okay.
It's very heavily it's not like it's
It's grown
coming
from
from
grow.
it's farmed conventionally, rapidly.
Yep.
And then the process of turning bamboo fiber into a wearable fiber is actually quite toxic.
Right.
It's really not good. So, so I would generally lean towards best choices, linen and secondhand.
Linen and secondhand.
Yeah, best choice.
Yeah.
Then if you're gonna buy cotton, buy secondhand cotton, buy regional cotton. That means local batiks, local Indian, coming from India, coming from Indonesia.
Mm.
You know, at least it's not got an energy footprint. It's actually
But what do
going
you
back
think about
into
some of this? Like when you buy it in a store,
yeah.
it say made in Vietnam, but it may just be stitched in Vietnam. You know, you don't know where the fiber is coming from. You know where it's made. The final stitching could be coming. So I don't know. Is
Yeah, that's true.
you
That's
know,
true. A lot of like,
you don't really know the whole life chain.
you would
You
have
only
to
know that.
you would really have to know a little bit more about how material moves in this world. So
Yeah.
it's not just the fabric, like it
Yeah.
made in Vietnam, because that's what I used to do. And there would be various people organizing the buttons are coming from China,
It's in
the
the same.
fabric is
Vietnam is
coming
in
from
the same. Yeah.
Pakistan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's being sewn in, Indonesia.
Mm.
It's like it's complex.
Yeah. It's a global system of
Yeah,
what you wear. Yeah. And I
yeah,
feel like that's why I miss going to Thailand so much because I feel like when I buy like my fisherman pants or like my cotton tops, they are all like Thai. The fabric is Thai, the stitching is Thai, the dyeing is very simple. It's just very simple cotton
yeah.
clothes. And
I wonder if maybe the class, like a class would be,
mm,
I teach you what is good quality, how to
yeah,
look for what
yeah,
feels good, what
yeah,
looks good. Because
yeah,
I can tell
yeah,
you, oh, this is very loose. I can show examples. So maybe that might be then you can navigate like secondhand stuff and maybe, because the other thing is also now there's this globalization of products. So
mm,
there's stuff, at the end of its season is just shipped to Australia and
yeah,
Asia
yeah,
and sold again,
yeah. Offload, offload.
it's not a bad thing. It's better than just being trashed,
I
you
guess
know?
it's bad if the buyer uses it only once or twice and then chucks it out.
Maybe.
If it ends up in landfill as opposed to if
Yeah.
you use it once or twice and then you send it to like a bundle or a secondhand shop
Yeah.
or thrift shop. So it's also the user. It's the yeah, like none of my clothes
Well,
are
the
gonna
user,
fit
it goes
you.
back to what the user knows. I mean, does the user know that this is a good quality item? You know, is it,
Yeah,
is it breathable?
yeah,
Is it, then you buy it,
yeah, yeah.
and
I think
it's kind of
the
tricky.
thing that currently I know gets heavily used and passed down is baby wear because babies grow very quickly. And
Yeah,
so, like some of my friends who've had children in the last, I don't know, 5, 10 years,
yeah,
they've had like a sharing circle of like baby wear. So they
yeah,
buy good brands and they buy organic and
yeah,
then just pass it on to the next person and then they pay it forward. So every person either tops up a couple of things or
yeah.
whatever that is. Yeah. So that makes it sustainable. Sharing
Hey,
baby.
let me talk about this issue because this really matters because Malaysia is trapped in this sort of 19th century Victoriana clothing etiquette
Which
that
is
things have to be ironed and dry cleaned and look smart and whatever. And
go
sometimes,
out of that window.
and okay, and sometimes polyester create fits that bill. It's drip dry, easy care, all that kind of stuff. But actually, all that it's all just a human construct. So I worked in America where they changed that. American sportswear actually broke that system
Right.
where you can just take your clothes, put it in a washing machine, take it out, fold it, and if it's creased, it's fine. You know,
Mm.
you're no one's gonna think lesser of you because you got a slightly crumpled t-shirt or slightly crumpled cotton pant. You know, whereas here it's like, oh my god, people are dry cleaning and ironing and putting creases in, and it's like, why? I mean, there's no reason to. We don't live in the 19th century anymore.
Okay.
We should. Yeah,
I would iron my saris because I
I have
feel
never seen you in a sari. Don't even tell me that you
no
wear
no no
saris.
no, but I do, and it's such a pain to do because it's a long fabric and
Yeah,
you have to like drape it over the furniture and iron it bit by bit. But then if you don't iron it, it really does not look nice. Yeah,
yeah,
so
true.
that's the only thing I put probably iron a sari.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah. It's
So
more
if you
like
I
a show of respect for the person who's looking at it, more than
yeah, but
anything.
this whole idea of respect is complete a human construct, lah.
Yeah, I
Nobody
know,
says
but
you have
it's
to
so
show
expensive
someone
when it's
respect
ironed.
by ironing your shirt. It's just a ridiculous notion, you know.
Mm,
Yeah. So get out of that headspace.
it's
Move
so
into the
funny.
move into the 20th century, not even the 21st century. American sportswear is
No,
a
it,
20th
it only
century.
works if the sari fabric is different. Like my grandma used to wear
Yeah,
cotton sari at home, like
yeah.
goes to this
Yeah,
market.
but you're barely wearing a sari. I'm talking about people who are ironing their shirts every day and their
Yeah, yeah,
underwear
yeah.
and
No, but
their
that's the only
t-shirt.
thing that I would iron. Is
Yeah,
that yeah.
yeah.
There is
So
nothing else.
that whole world is so another sustainability function is actually don't treat your clothes like 19th century ideas,
I think
Live
one
in that
issue with
20.
ironing is that
Yeah.
the amount of electricity, because you have to heat up the iron, right? It's heat
Yeah,
energy.
yeah, it's energy. Yeah, yeah,
And it's my energy because it's time that I sit there and
yeah,
So
yeah,
you're looking at the amount of energy you put into creating this look that lasts for like a good 5 minutes until you start sweating in this heat and you start sitting in a car and everything gets all over again. So I
yeah,
don't know. It's not worth it lah. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it's like stop wearing all that. Stop wearing socks and it's like like I remember when I first came, I would drive my dad crazy because
I
he was always going to the golf club and you have to wear a collared shirt. Your shirt's got to be ironed. You have to wear shoes. You can't wear sandals. Even though I said, Dad, these are $200 Abercrombie sandals. They cost more than whatever that guy's wearing.
doesn't matter. It's open toe.
Don't, he's like, so a lot of times he was making me wear his clothes because he felt that.
But then your dad apparently is a fashionista, so
I mean, it's not kind of interesting. So there is a huge cultural role in how to behave sustainably as well. You know, um, how often are you supposed to be I don't understand like wearing so many things in a day. Just wear one thing and then wash it. It's like you
Yeah.
don't have to be wearing this. There's not like a daytime wear and the evening wear and the lunch. It's like so many wasteful activities and all that is human construct, you
Yeah,
know.
for sure.
Yeah. So you can fix all that. You can reconfigure all that. And the idea that you
COVID
should
was
be
really
wearing
good for this.
something.
COVID was amazing because we all wore our pajamas the whole day and probably the
Yeah,
next day
yeah,
too.
yeah. And
I just
and the other thing is,
that.
this idea that you should be wearing this because it's in fashion is another crazy notion. And that fashion is changing every 6 months. Oh, you're a loser if you're not wearing that. It's crazy.
I've been losing
Um,
since like 2010, so it's okay.
so part of my Uniqlo uncle mentality came from as I was getting a bit older, I remember reading about a designer called Jean Muir,
Okay.
who famously only wore navy blue
Okay.
because she just wanted to stop thinking about what to wear.
I've had those moments before, yes.
And that made me really think. So now I don't think I can do Jean Muir. I can't do like just navy. But I have to say, I have a blue section, I have a natural tone section,
Right.
and very little fashion color section anymore. You know, a lot of khakis and natural linens and a lot of indigo and navy blue. And,
Mm.
I think it's a path. It's this
Mm.
algorithm and a path towards doing better. And then finding your own aesthetic with it. It's,
I typically wear certain color palettes so that whatever clothes I already have will match. So
yeah,
it's easier. So I guess I'm buying to replace, right? So I tend to buy similar colors or similar shape silhouettes, And then it's just easier to like, oh, okay, now the pants needs to be changed. Then I'll just go find something. So I yeah, pretty much thread down the same line of stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so disconnect from the idea that there is a season that you need to fit this to, especially if you're living in the tropic. There are no seasons.
Yeah.
You're living in one gigantic season.
Mm. A bit
So
more wet,
just
a
fit,
bit more dry.
you know,
That's about it. Hot, hot, hot.
and maybe you have to think in terms of what do you do? Remember we had this conversation with Evelyn about what do we do as farmers? Is there an aesthetic for us? And actually, there is. I tend to wear a lot of indigo
Right,
denim.
right.
Denim, 'cause they're hard wearing.
Mm.
They look kind of. They're also kind of cool looking.
Yeah.
And they wash really well.
Mm.
That's the other thing is that they can manage the wash really well, so that they last longer.
Yep, yep,
You know.
yep. They don't look all fluffy and free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand fabric softener. Why the hell do you need fabric softener? Do you use fabric
It's a
softener?
product, no? It's just another product.
It's crazy to me that you actually need a fabric softener. It's like, just wash it. Just put it in the washing machine.
No, but then
I'll tell you what.
I
I'll
think
tell
it's
you what
about
does.
if you buy good quality fabric or better quality fabric, it won't be scratchy and rough. So you don't
Sure.
need a fabric softener,
Yeah.
And it's when people don't buy the basic nice,
Yeah.
then they need to add something to it. But if you
Yeah.
calculate it in terms of cost, the
Yeah.
amount of time, logistics, carbon that is expanded in that
Sure.
process, just buying
Yeah.
cheap, instead of buying quality, then you have this whole added overhead that you're paying
Yeah.
for. But distributors,
Actually, what one important point here is actually drying of clothes because
right?
you really don't have much choice in a country in the wintertime, or
Yeah.
if you're living in an apartment,
Mm.
to use a machine that dries, which is very heavy on energy. Your
Yeah.
your carbon footprint is you need to. So I'm lucky enough that I actually have a spare room. I just put the fan on
Mm.
and everything dries overnight in the
Yeah.
fan.
Yeah.
But I have to say, if I can get my act together and hang it in the sun, it smells better.
Yes.
It
Love.
doesn't smell bad,
I do that
but
only with my bed sheets at the moment.
yeah, yeah. So if I can hustle, I will put it in the sun and everything just smells really, really nice,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah.
Lovely cotton sheets, lovely linen
Unburnt smell.
shirts. Oh, fabulous,
I
So,
think I do that only because my I have like 5 bed sheets and they're all like 600 thread count, and I spend money on them because I feel like
yep, yep,
when I have a whole, and this is something I read a couple of years ago. The fabric, the fiber that you wear resonates a certain energy and depletes certain amount of energy. So the more synthetics you wear, the synthetics
yeah.
actually half your vibrational energy.
Well, but what the hell is that? I don't understand this vibrational energy. What is it?
So it is the, I think cotton or linen. Linen has the highest. It's like for whatever
I think that's nonsense, though. I
is
think
it.
that's
But I feel it when I sleep on it. Yeah. When I sleep on not nice
yeah.
bed
You
sheets.
see, but it's because
Yeah.
it's breathable. It's breathable, not because it has that kind of energy.
Mm,
Or if the way it's woven is cool to the touch.
maybe.
The more tightly woven it is, it
Yeah.
just feels cooler to the skin. It's
Right.
not an energy thing.
Not an energy
These
thing.
things are not energy is generated. You have to have there's a physics to it.
It's an amplify and eliminate
I
scenario.
think that's just nonsense. I think that's just
Okay.
woo woo nonsense. I don't subscribe to any of that. It's called quality matters. Quality matters,
Yeah.
and also like a cheap uh low thread count sheeting
Mm.
just doesn't feel nice to sleep on. It feels
Yeah, for sure, for
gritty.
sure. Yeah, so
It
the
just
only
feels
reason why I
gritty.
have, yeah, I have bed sheets that are like I spend on my bed sheets is because I feel like that's where you
Where do
rest.
you buy them from?
Pardon?
Where do you buy your bed sheets from?
Usually Parkson or something. So I buy certain
You
brands
know,
like,
you know who's got to me the
yeah.
best bed sheets is IKEA.
I don't have IKEA. The,
Uh,
for the longest time
but so
and
what you do? So this is a strategy: is when you can get to an IKEA or a Uniqlo, you just
mm,
buy it. You know,
mm,
IKEA has a fantastic range of really high quality sheeting.
mm,
You can buy it online, actually. You can buy it online. You can order it online.
right, right.
And it's really quite cheap because a big company like that can buy the kind of quantities that take the price down,
Mm,
you know. So I only buy IKEA bed sheets and pillowcases and stuff like that. It's just really
mm.
quite good quality. You know.
Maybe the next round, yeah. So I don't buy a whole bunch in one go. I buy like every few, like a year or two. So yeah.
Yeah,
But they last really well. They feel really nice. They are very durable for the wash. They hang nicely in the sun. It gives you that nice smell, because like as soon as the bedsheet is a little bit synthetic, it doesn't have that same smell when you dry it in the sun. So yeah, I think my,
yeah.
my sun drying bed sheets is like a ritual thing. Yeah.
Okay, so we kind of did an hour, and just one thing that we didn't talk about is actually, and this is something that affects me. I have slightly sensitive skin. I can get rashes and eczema and all that kind of stuff. And I think natural fibers are much better.
Mm,
I don't like wearing poly because it makes me hot, and I will have a rash, or
right.
so that's just one good reason to keep with natural fibers is actually just for your own skin health,
Right.
uh, especially if you're a little bit sensitive to that. And also related to that is maybe how you wash it, I guess. You know, I'm always looking. I'm looking at the soaps that you can buy.
Mm.
I don't. I'm not looking for an expensive one. I just want one that doesn't have an antibiotic in it.
Uh,
They're
I
always
don't like the
trying
ones
to
I
kill.
a
They're
lot of
always trying
water.
to kill germs. It's really bad for the environment. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
don't. So you're looking. Actually, the other day I found one that said great for indoor drying, and I was like, okay, that's me.
At
But
the
I
moment,
definitely don't want.
I've moved to laundry sheets. So they are like dehydrated sheets of laundry detergent, and you can pick the ones that have no fragrance, and yeah, and I don't think I've seen them say kills germs or anything. I don't think they're that you know canggih yet.
Yeah, that's actually a big problem. You really don't want to buy a washing liquid or a soap or a washing powder that is antibacterial because it just ends up in our rivers.
Yeah.
and back in our bloodstreams,
Yep.
so it's
Yep.
really a bad idea. So really avoid that. That's just a marketing thing
Yep.
that's turned into a very, very bad idea.
Yep.
And you can see they are actually now changing path. There's less and
Yep.
less of it now. But
And,
there
and,
was a
and
time when
that's one of the reasons why I feel like the people who start making laundry sheets, especially if you read about the companies, because there are very few of them around, they tend to like list their ingredients and
Layla,
they tend to be more conscious about what they're putting into the laundry sheet. So laundry sheets, the idea of laundry sheets kind of like cut
what
half.
is a lot? What is a laundry sheet? What do you mean by
It's
laundry?
basically laundry detergent, but it's produced as a sheet. Some of them are
Oh,
made up
I never
of
used that.
coconut oil and stuff like that. So
Oh,
it's yeah, exactly, right? So by the creation of it itself, it's already very
yeah.
eco. So it kind of filters out a lot of the other problems. So I just buy laundry sheets. Yeah. And you can put a sheet into the wash, and I even have laundry floor cleaner. No, sorry, sheet floor cleaner. So I just take a sheet, put it in the
Oh,
bucket, and I just mop my floor. Yeah, and you don't even
yeah.
have like rinse because it's light enough. Yeah, so these things are available. Yeah,
I should make my own floor cleaner because that's another big kind
yeah,
of because I buy cheap soap from India.
yeah.
Because soap from India is actually really good. It's usually coconut oil,
Hmm.
not tallow. It's not an animal product.
Hmm.
It's usually a herb, you
Yeah.
know, and that's all you need. You just need to make it into a solution.
Hmm.
And then we also make a lot of enzyme because we have like offcuts of citrus and stuff like that. And I mix those two, and that we use that for the floors. I
Yeah.
never buy.
My
I
floor
never buy floor.
because of my
Yeah.
cat. Yeah. So if I
The
leave
trouble
it,
with laundry is like you cannot really do that because the machine you might screw your machine up.
yes, yes. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's like
the laundry sheets that I use are all like they've done their machine testings and stuff. So yeah,
oh
it's quite good.
yeah.
But I don't
Okay,
just
I
wash
think
the whole family.
I
I just wash for myself. So yeah,
I think I'll contact Dawn and see how I feel like there's just so much information that's actually
yeah,
really
exactly.
hard to really uh
Put a finger on it.
boil it down to some simple rules,
Yeah,
except, just don't wear anything polyester, maybe.
but I
As just
think it's a process to explore variety. Personal choice. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff there.
yeah.
And I guess also because she's got growing kids, so
Yeah,
definitely
yeah, yeah.
that
Oh, I think all that you have to factor in, yeah.
yeah,
And then, like you said, you don't have an IKEA, maybe somebody doesn't have a Jalan Japan.
right.
So, all these things you have to factor in, but I would say in general, just move away from polyester. Stop worrying about this idea that your clothes need to be ironed and crisp and
Mm.
drip dry or all this kind of stuff. A lot of this stuff is all gimmicky about dry fit and cooling and all that kind of stuff. It really doesn't, you don't really need that in life, in real life,
Mm.
you know, to live a life. It's not really necessary, you
Mm.
know, and then gravitate to and learn more about quality and buy nicer quality things that you enjoy wearing
Yeah.
that last longer,
Yeah.
are above fashion. They just, you're not responding to a 6 month cycle of fashion anymore. You know, develop your own taste for the things that you buy. It's this almost needs to be like a lesson with a sort of a Q&A, like a heavy
Yeah.
Q&A
Yeah.
with, right?
Question create
Yeah,
a
yeah. So
pathway
how do
to
I
solve it.
solve my issue based on your
Yeah.
information? Yeah,
Correct. Correct.
yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
All
And
right.
I remember at one point I had some t-shirts that I kind of like. I kind of accidentally stained them, and I had a friend who did a lot of silk screen printing. And I just silk screen over the front and or where the stains were. It's like tattooing over a scar. The shirts
Yeah,
lived another 2 years, just because
yeah.
it was stained from I cut it.
Oh, one last thing that we didn't talk
Yeah.
about, and we got to end it because we're running well over time. Repairing your clothes,
Yes. Stitching patches and stuff. Yeah.
which I've got a big pile. I just don't do it. I can't get to it. It's too
I
much.
have Lyman's aunt. She repairs all my clothes and he
Mm. I need to find a lineman's aunt, a personal lineman's aunt,
Auntie Alice is like an
because
angel. She's like
I'm
an
trying to be the person that will do it, and I'm just not that person. So
angel.
all I have is just a
No,
big pile of clothes.
you have to really like doing it
Yeah,
that you want to keep
yeah,
getting back to it every day. It's like a good
yeah,
book, you know? So she gets,
yeah,
I think her high about repairing clothes is that it is
yeah,
a puzzle. It is a puzzle that just, it just
yeah,
engages her so much for her to
yeah,
find a matching fabric, for her to like, solve the problem by like finding all the thin spots and then like
yeah,
making all the different patches. Oh my God,
yeah.
she thrives on it. Yeah.
And it's a
They're just
really
the
good
enablers.
and it's a really good strategy because I for men, I not don't know so much about women, but things like pants, like cotton
Yeah.
pants, they're just wearing away at very specific things where your
Yes.
wallet is or
Yes.
where your button is, and that needs to be fixed. Yeah.
Mhm. Hemlines.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay. All right. We gotta end. We're
I
running over
think I
time.
think if anything, we've uncovered what type of workshop we could possibly
Yeah. Yeah.
design
Maybe
out of this
maybe
conversation.
it's
Because
almost like
I
a
feel,
sample. Like I need to show things.
yeah. And I
Yeah.
feel like in the sense of it's hard to commit to changing your wardrobe because if you've become used to something but you're
Yeah.
buying into the idea of sustainability,
Yeah.
then that transition will take time, and that
Yeah.
transition you have to be kind to yourself as you transition, because some people fashionize it by saying I have a capsule wardrobe, or whatever the language they use. So there's a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
possibilities,
Also,
and
you're working within a dynamic demand and supply situation.
yes, 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 yes,
You have price limits and price
yes,
issues. You
for sure.
have resource issues. So yeah, all that needs to be navigated based on actually where you are
Yes, and what you know
and,
about the place.
and what you know and how to deal with it. So
Yep.
it's just small steps forward.
Yep, yep, yep. Cool.
Okay. All right. Have a good week. I'll speak to you not
Good.
next week because I'm hopefully I'll be speaking to Hank before then,
Okay.
and I will talk to you again.
Okay.
Right.
Bye bye.
Bye.